Let's talk Hitman Holla. Power moves, man. Like, wow. Let's go here right quick. Trenches, King of the Dot, and now we have this card, power moves, though. Has this been the best on paper, the last couple cards? Have they been real major in you guys' opinion?
You talk about power moves is huge. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think probably mask out on paper by a little. I mean, this is a 4-battle card, but I like that, to be perfectly honest with you, because in a world where everybody wants to have a goddamn festival,
yes,
throw 10 battles on the weekend and have intermissions. You know what I'm saying? 4 battles, you can have intermissions. We're still out of there in 3 or 4 hours. So a lot of times your event should not be longer than an NFL game, man, especially with 4 battles. So I'm super excited. And I think if you talk top 3, 4 cards of the year, just on paper, because the battle's got to be good, this is right up there, man. I'm blown away by some of the matchmaking they've done on power moves. And I'm really impressed up to this point, how they've shown the venue, the card itself. I got great energy around this one.
So, man.
Yeah, no, this is a huge I mean, and I knew Hitman was capable of doing this because obviously he was capable of doing Bags and Bodies, a whole pretty much reality show, right? So for him to kind of take that and kind of make it into like a major card is, very dope to see. And honestly, I mean, we've seen many battlers take business into their own hands, matters into their own hands, and book the battles that we want to see. And and shout out to you for the amazing interview with Hitman, by the way. I think it was just dope that when you have characters that big and battlers that big make these looks happen, I think it just pushed the culture forward. So, but this is for sure one of the biggest cards of the year, just off of the top 2 alone. So top 3 alone, yeah.
Smo, what do you think about Hitman saying he was almost close booking easy?
Oh man, I almost something got in the way, but I was actually almost shot a whole video about all those matchups from your interview that have fallen through. There's a lot of talking points in that one, man. I think with Easy and Rock, that's always going to get the culture going because there's no bigger grudge match to the core of battle rap right now. I actually say we're getting to a world where the world is finally healing and moving past Mook and Briz, and Easy and Rock is finna be that battle people act like it's going to happen for the next 5 years. It's just when one goes out, another comes in. But I think that. Imagine that, and it's kind of funny how it goes because Rock ends up saying no to Easy, right? That leads to Easy saying no to Twork, right? Apparently, and then you go to Twork ending up with Big K, and the domino effect that ended up happening with that battle not going down. But hey, listen, we just want that battle at this point. Obviously, I want it in a big situation. If it's not 1,000 people, no small room, no small league.
Isn't that the right place, Small?
But this is the right place. That's why it's upsetting, because even though this Bags and Bodies doesn't have, what a URL or an RB has in terms of legacy, they're putting 800 to 1,000 people in that venue. You know what I'm saying? By the looks of it, like this is going to be a big situation. So it's a heartbreaker. There's quite a few matchups that didn't go down that he was talking about that are heartbreakers. So, but that goes to show, with leagues, big matches like this, it's not that more than anything, leagues run out of patience. Like I feel like people point to all these different things, but it just goes to show that there was 3 cards worth of matchups here, and they're all super matchups. We're not running out of matchups. Leagues run out of time to just fucking go in a circle about the battle. So if anything, it's heartbreaking to hear, especially the reason was I don't like him or some shit like that. Like I like when people that don't like each other rap. That's actually the battle I want to see. So
hey, Rock, don't get mad at us, fam. That's the battles we want to see, my guy.
And it's such a weird thing because Rock has battled plenty of people he said he didn't like. So he's had a plethora of guys he didn't like that he stood in front of in battle.
He didn't like Big K. Look how good that was. And I get why he didn't want to go to Chrome. Like, we can go on and on about this topic, but I don't think he should just be forced to Chrome just because people are like, why won't you go to Chrome? Like, why the fuck does he got to go to this one league that you want him to go to battle your guy because he only battles there? I think that's kind of messed up too. But Bags and Bodies is neutral. There's no way to get around that. Like, it was neutral. It was 1,000 people. This is the situation. So,
fellas, do you find it ironic that Easy was willing to battle Tay-Rock on Bags and Bodies, but he wasn't willing to battle Twork on Bags and Bodies?
I think it's strategic.
Talk to me, man.
I think it's strategic, man. I think a part of having a what do you want to call it, a career with very little blemishes is just knowing how, when, and where to choose your fights. That's how you're able to get like someone like a Goods or a Hitman, where you can say like there's very few blemishes that they have. A part of it is because of their skill set, and a part of it is just some of the circumstances they put themselves in, and I'm not really trying to make light of Easy's competitive nature at all, but I do think that he understands that Twork is a certain type of battle, and it maybe need to be under a certain set of circumstances. So,
what circumstances, sir?
A lot of people made business decisions.
Yeah.
In this card. That's the nice way of putting it straight up. And it just happens more than people realize. I think at one time, in terms of turning down a matchup, ducking, things like that used to be a bigger deal. But you can kind of see with what Hitman said in the interview, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of that switching around and stuff happens a lot more than people think. So,
all right, Lang, set it off, man. What we doing? J2 and Snake Eyes, man. What we doing? Grudge match.
You know what's funny about this matchup? It feels like it's happened before, but we know it hasn't. Just because like Bags and Bodies seems like a very recent phenomenon, but it's actually been around for some time now if you really think about it. So I don't know why I was already in the mindset of this already occurring before. But I do like the matchup though. Do I feel like it's a little bit overdue? Probably. I feel like it kind of missed this window, but I do think they did a great job promoing, and I do think that there is some competitive nature behind the battle. And if I'm being transparent, I feel like you can argue that both Snake Eyes and J2 have had one of their better years this year. So I guess there's Smo made that. Smo, you need to cut it out.
I'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we talk about it.
Right, but I do think there's a reason to kind of see a collision course for the most part, but in terms of who I have winning, this is a weird style clash, man. Okay, if I'm going off of just
Snake Eyes 2-1, go ahead.
I got J2 2-1, man. The stuff that I've seen him do this year, specifically one of the performances that really stuck out was his JC battle. I thought that was one of his better performances he's had. And I thought Snake Eyes was really good versus Riggs too. But in a style clash, right? And it may be preference based. I'm going to edge J2, but I wouldn't be surprised if Snake Eyes win, just because he's been doing good this year. This is one of his better years I feel like he's had.
How do you feel about the True Foe battle and the K Walker battle?
I felt like he lost clearly to True Foe. I wasn't going to use that as a point to kind of aid him, but no offense to him. But I feel like that was one of the battles where I feel like, don't laugh, because when I try to be professional, y'all try to you adding gasoline to the fire. But no, I think that, and that's the thing. I think there's beauty in that. I feel like the True Foe battle is his only bad blemish on the year. I feel like you can make an argument. Some people say they have him beating K Walker. I kind of had K Walker winning that too. But besides that, I mean, a lot of people have had relatively good things to say about his year so far, and I think that True Foe is the only one where they're just like, yeah, you kind of lost that one clearly.
You got Smo?
Hey, listen, it's definitely a grudge match, and as I said earlier, no matter really the level of tier we're talking, when battlers really don't like each other, there's always something that you can make out of that when they really don't like each other, and this makes sense because they were both like, their grudge sparked from Bags and Bodies. So if you're going to give any type of like talent a shot, or if it's not going to be top tier talent on the card opening, like this 100% made sense. And I got Snake Eyes 2-1 clear. And they've definitely both, in terms of where their careers are at, have had better years. Sometimes I think people just take a lot of battles and we say that they're on a run. But I will say with Snake Eyes, although I've had him losing a few, I did have him losing to K Walker. I got to give respect, though. The True Foe battle, even though I personally had him losing on the edge, a lot of people got Snake. And that's one thing I'm always,
Snake Eyes going to win that battle.
Always be fair. You know what I'm saying? And I've been very critical, particularly of Snake, when it comes to wins and losses. But this year,
he did have a good performance against T-Top as well. I do want to throw that out there, too. His T-Top performance was good, too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't want to sound like I'm going, because I had him kind of getting smoked by T-Top. But listen, there's people that got him beating K Walker. There's people he did beat Riggs. There's people that got him beating True Foe. You got to respect that. And I think bar for bar, he's gotten better. And one thing is, when he's battling down, like which is, I'd say his profile is of like a high mid tier. Like I think that there's a very respectable profile for Snake Eyes in this culture, whether you like him or not. He's been really handling business when he battles down, though. And that was one thing, actually, I always like when he lost his stumbles, like there's just certain things you can't be doing. But now I see him battling these talents and he's showing that veteranship, seasonedness. And there's people that are going to argue he's won more battles than he's lost this year. And I'm really not even that mad at it. And I think he's going to win this one super clear. Because of the experience in front of a crowd of this nature. I'm surprised that more people that are picking J2 aren't thinking, has J2 ever been in front of a crowd of 300 to 400, let alone 750 to 1,000? That is
maybe the Prestavia battle might be the one, but
that building was half empty, respectfully, because it was a big venue that they booked at Chrome. But we know how those first few Chrome events were ran.
Yeah.
I don't think J2's ever been in front of this close to amount of people performing in a battle. And say what you want about Snake, he's been in a couple of these situations. I think that experience is going to show. I think he's just a more polished battle rapper, and it's hard for me to see a world, honestly, that Snake doesn't win this battle.
But Lang and Small, are you guys worried? And I was talking to Snake Eyes about this a couple of days ago, right? The person knows that your boy J2 about to eat. Rock Lee's gonna be mentioned like crazy.
I'm
it's
sure
gonna be in a land at the crib. I don't know how much credence you guys hold in that. If that matters to you guys at all, right?
It's gonna be good for J2. I don't know about that angle though. You how do you feel about that angle? Because we know it's gonna get used. We don't got you buying into it like that.
Cringy, though. It could be cringy.
Yeah, you gotta execute it. You have to execute it right.
Jack and Matt battle is kind of cringy. Some of the stuff Jack was saying.
Yeah, and if you think with Snake Eyes too, and I got to give Snake Eyes credit, you could almost, this is like the counterwriting that goes on outside of the ring almost, right? We know this angle's coming, but Snake keeps it real. I believe Rock asked him for like a picture, or like they've half reconciled, or at least like there's been opportunity. People try to mark it into a battle, and I'm gonna be real with you, I don't talk about topics that start blurring into the lines of super personal life. However, if someone is going to put that in your name, why the hell would we turn around and have a battle about it on either side of it? Like, there's no logic to that one. So when it came to that angle, listen, that is a big deal, but the way it's all fell out, it's hard for me to see now you're going to bring it around as an angle after so much has happened where they almost try to battle. I'm just not bought into it. And I hope it doesn't go, it's going to be a messy battle, but if you go too far down that road, I 100% see people in the crowd losing it, not understanding where it's going. So,
all right. What do you got? Hitman, Smo, he was in the spaces when Hitman was in there, right? And he alluded to, I don't know if it's tongue in cheek when he said this, but he felt this was a bigger grudge match than him and Geechee.
I mean, we got to sell the battles on the card now.
Yeah.
I'm not even like,
you're not wrong, brother.
They don't like each other more. Like, if that's what he's saying, like, yo, there's actual more disdain. Because I actually think that Snake and J2, like, in real life, don't like each other all that much. I don't really know if that's how it applies to Geechee and Hitman. But you know, that's sell the card. That's what he's supposed to do.
Lang, talk to me. It could have been Rex and Cassidy, but we got Rex and Swamp, Mr. Lang. Talk to me, sir.
The battle is going to be better than Rex and Cassidy was going to be. So, you know, and Swamp and Rex, man, I like this battle a lot. And I like the respect that they have for one another. It's like a mutual respect, but they both are coming out to kill. And after Rex having the performance he had against Chilla, and then just the chess performance, and then the Piquet performance, I'm just like, at this point, I mean, I feel like he's kind of found his groove, and I feel like it's the right time to find your groove against another top tier guy that is kind of in that same lane as you. And I feel like the last time he had this kind of a situation was against Easy, and I feel like he did good, but he ran out of gas. I feel like in this situation, he might actually fare much better in this battle. And then when you talk about Swamp's year, I mean, you know, him versus Verb, Electric, right? Him versus Hustle. A lot of people have him winning that. I edged him in that battle too. I feel like he's been having a really, really solid year this year in those battles, right? Trying new things, rebuttaling, angling, different flow pockets and stuff like that, while also staying true to his style.
Yes.
I really like this battle. And I'm edging slightest of edges to Swamp, just because I feel like, you know, this is one of those situations where I feel like they kind of do have the same talk, but I feel like I would say Swamp has a little bit of a leg up in the haymaker factor. I feel like Swamp can kind of catch you off guard with some of those. No, I feel like when you talk about like maybe delivery, right, and like the veteran aspect, T-Rex, you know what I'm saying, aces that. But when it comes to like those like memorable bars and those haymakers that we think of. Swamp can just land one out of nowhere, whether it's like against Hustle, the Black Sheep Lamb Chops bar, or the It Trumps Everything for 40 running for president. You know what I'm saying? He has like one of those bars that can really separate, because like he's not a bar for bar battler, but the
Right.
thing is like he knows how to close his rounds out strong, and he knows how to have a lasting impression in each of his rounds, and he knows how to like angle and have a little bit of street talk. I think he's very versatile when it comes to like just his approach in battles. But I have Swamp 2-1, but I'm expecting another good Rex performance, and I'm expecting it to be competitive.
What's up, Smo?
Hey, I think there's a very good chance this could be battle of the night. I love this matchup, and I know I remember Hitman had said that the boss had put something. Me and the boss have been talking about this matchup for well over a year now. We've been kicking around the idea, so I'm happy, the message got somewhere it was supposed to, because I don't know when else we're going to get this battle. People think of Swamp and Cal. They think of some other matchups that they really want to see, but I've been saying, listen, we want Swamp versus Legends, right? That's what people wanted. We complained about last year, I believe it was, when he didn't really get much of that. And I'm like, well, which ones match up? And I'm like, well, Goods seems to be, doing what he's doing.
He wants that battle, Smo.
What'd you say? The Goods battle?
Told me a couple of days ago.
But I still wouldn't be mad. But I understand that he's a legend, and it's in that talk to him lane. It's not bar for bar. It's kind of the same with Rex and Cal. But I was like, yo, when is someone gonna holler at Rex? Because him and Swamp styles are, even though it's the North and South version of it, in a lot of ways it's similar. These guys aren't gonna say punchlines you've absolutely never heard before. These guys are
a lot of drug talk.
Yeah, they're not writing schemes that you can read this way and read them this way. It's none of that. They're just talking that shit. And sometimes it's not even just drug talk, it's life talk, which I think is so underrated in battle rap. There's bars that kind of transcend just street shit. Like, we all are living lives at the end of the day. I feel like Cal's one of the best at that. I feel like Swamp and Rex are some of the best. And they both have looked great. Rex has looked the best he's looked in 10 years. There's just no question about it in the ring. He has not had 3 battles in a row like Big K, Chess, and Chilla since 2012. You know what I mean? Like, it's been
G Soldier, some shit like
it's been a minute, but he's back. He's the best I've seen him in forever. I expect that consistency to continue. I am worried in front of 1,000 people, because Rex he's been doing great, but he hasn't been doing great in front of 1,000. That's harder. And we saw when him and Chess started out on that big stage. Yeah, it was a little worried. That was the one time it's been a little worrisome recently. So for that reason, I got Swamp 2-1. He's a big game battler. The Twork battle knocked it out the park. Aver battle, 30, knocked it out the park. Even when Chef Trez was the biggest battle he got last year, well, that just happened to be one of the best battles of the year. This guy, after not being cut out for the big moment for a very long time, Swamp, he's here. And I don't know, card should be built around, you know what I'm saying? Like, he should be up in those event slots. Like, this is, I'm not going to call him an underutilized asset, because listen, he's still gotten Verb and Rex this year. There's people doing far worse. But when we talk about new stars in battle rap, in a sense, that UM1 class, the Swamps, the Fonzes, obviously the Easies, and the Six, these are 4 guys that they're top tier. They're there with any other golden era guy. So I expect him to be. Some people, I think, got Rex as like the favorite. They'd almost be surprised if Swamp won. And if that's how you're thinking, I think that plays into Swamp's favor. So that's why I got him winning. But I got him and Rex both being great. And I got this being one of my favorite battles, maybe of the year. That's how in I am on this matchup.
Wow, my brother said for the year.
I really think that Rex and Swamp has something special. Like, I think that this particular matchup is going to bring, like, it's going to emphasize what they're both good at. I love it.
Smo, if you're right, brother, we shall revisit this.
It's for sure. It's for sure has the makings of being something like that. Because again, I just think they have ultimate respect for one another. When Swamp has ultimate respect for his opponent, he gives you the Twork performance. He gives you the Chef Trez performance. He gives you like the Nitty performance. Like, he gives you those type of outings. And then I think on the other side with Rex, with him understanding, he's openly said that he's trying to build momentum going to next year, because he actually wants to be consistent and like build up his own run going for next year. So I feel like this battle means something to him, because he's still on a mission to kind of show people that he still can hang with this generation. So yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being the battle of the night.
Fellas, has Swamp beat a lot of the Mount Rushmore guys?
He's beaten a lot of top guys for sure, and he's done it.
Verb?
Yeah.
I missed somebody else. I feel like I'm missing another name here. Help me out, fellas.
When you talk about, listen, he's beat Arse. I got him beating Rock. I got him beating.
Rock,
I got him beating Bird, and even if you look at that, like I got him beating Nitty. I mean, he beat Twork. He beat Fonz ain't there, but I mean, he's beat the best right now, and he's beat the best before, bro. I mean, he's.
I got Swamp 2-1, which I want to. I can't go the other way. I want to go the other way, Rex. I'm sorry, just to make it break this up, but I gotta go Swamp 2-1, man. The brother don't be losing like that, and I'm happy for this man for being on cards. Jesus Christ, he can't get on trenches, can't get on that card. Mr. Like kicking a dot. I mean, I'm glad he's on some card. I'm glad Hitman Holla did pick this battle up and everything like that. I did not know Swamp and T-Rex is a battle that I need in my life, but I am here for it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to Swamp 2-1, man. You know what I mean? It's the next battle. We want to go
Twork and Big K. And me and Smo had a conversation off cam saying, like, is this the first? Because you can argue Chill and Shine was the first, but is this the first time we got to see the number 1 and number 2 Cody actually go against each other? Because technically, this is a situation. Right, this is technically a situation where they're actually ranked and they're going against each other the following year. Man, I really like this battle, man. I liked it years before, you know, just because I feel like they're both very good at what they do. I feel like they're both are heavy punchers, right? Just in different aspects. Twork is more of the explosive puncher. Big K is more of the rapid flow puncher, right? So it's like different compartments of the same style. I think the competitive nature is there still. I know 3 is not the happiest with them high-fiving in the battle. You know what I'm saying? But I still think there's a competitive edge there, man. I still feel
it's
like
gone, man. Let's be honest. You don't think it's gone?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And then on top of this, here's one part that I thought about heavily in this battle. One of the people that Twork called out after the year that he had was Hitman. Mm-hmm. And him knowing that Hitman is going against his counterpart in Geechee, I guarantee you he's going to try to make an example out of Big K in this battle in front of Hitman and to get that battle going. But the thing about Big K is he always strikes. Dog strikes again. You know what I'm saying? He always finds a way to make a battle competitive or at least win. At least in the past couple of years, you know, because we know we had like a time period where he was just going through the motions and whatnot. But 2020. 3 and on, he has found a way to either win or make the battle close. And I feel like he's primed for these type of battles. I mean, he hasn't really had that many major fights outside of the Twork battle this year.
Yeah, NXT.
Yeah,
Papa,
Marv, and him and
Coach Corleone. Yeah, right. But yeah, in this battle, man, I'm edging with the slightest edge to Twork by a smidge. Just because, and I also think environment matters too, right? Okay. You know, I feel like Twork is kind of more primed for those bigger environments, bigger stages and whatnot. Big K can still perform. You know what I'm saying? He's been on Max House before and stuff like that, but it's few and far in between, right? Where I feel like Twork is extremely explosive, and I feel like, you know, with Twork, I think he's added more stuff to his style with the angling, with the career breakdown, with, you know, a bunch of different stuff he's added to his style. I feel like it's going to be a good battle, but I'm edging Twork 2-1 just because I feel like he has more comfortability in performing at a high level in front of all those people.
You guys know.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing Lang said at the end, it's the only real differentiating factor is the amount of people that are going to be here for this, you know, because I've been long before 2023. I thought, even though people have known Big K's top tier, I think on an all-time level, he was severely underrated. He's severely underrated. And then it took this other run where, and there's still people that don't like Big K. We just know what it is kind of with Big K out here. There's some people that
separate the two people.
Yeah, it is, but I'm glad that I can't even say finally because he's been booked in big spots a lot, but it feels like he's getting the most culture-wide respect that he's ever gotten. So I'm glad people are seeing it for the close fight that it should be. But when we talk more people, I think K is the better angler. I think punching-wise, Twork is better, but K could be right there with him. But how many times has K been in front of 800 to 1,000 people? And he's made quite a career without it. So I'm not using it as a big thing. But as far as I know, he battled on the Massacres versus Pat, Head Ice, but that wasn't 1,000. There was a lot of people, and those are good battles. Yeah. But then he battled on the Max Outs. He battled Clone, he battled X Factor, and that was a lot of people. I feel big stage. This would probably be in terms of amount. And he's good in those battles, but it's just a lack of the same experience versus someone who's probably a top 5 big stage battler. Like that's literally what Twork is made for, is big stage battles. Although he's been good in both rooms, so that advantage is tough. And like I said, I got him beating pass and I got him beating 40. So I think by the time we get to the big K battle, you could catch him with some momentum. Granted, K has it too. They're both performing at their peak, and particularly on the stage. I got to go Twork 2-1 as well because of that performative element. But I think that there might not be a better strategist right now in battle rap than Big K. And if there's anybody who could flip the situation, find an angle, diffuse it, Big K is the type. So for that reason, I got a lot of confidence in him. But that difference in experience in front of 1,000 people, it almost every time, I used to underrate it, but I feel like almost every time on bigger stages, it almost comes down to that. The guy who's just had more reps in that situation is just better equipped for it. So I can't wait to see it. You know what I mean? But I do have Twork 2-1 going in.
A loss for who hurts more, Lang? In this?
But here's the thing about being top tier, right? A clear loss hurts, right? Like if it's one of those debatable situations, it's just like, you can argue either way. I think that they're both at a point where if Twork clearly lose because he just didn't show up, I mean, I feel like you're at a point where like you're just pretty much putting the nail in the coffin for this year of him making the Cody. But it also just brings back that stigma of him being a what if guy, right? For Big K, I can't say it does a lot for him if he clearly loses to, or does a lot against him if he clearly loses to Twork. Besides like, I guess proving the people that doubt him right, I guess. But he's always going to have those type of people. So, I think that it's highly unlikely that we're going to walk away from this battle not being entertained and it not being a good battle and a competitive battle. So I don't even really think about that.
Small, are we going to have time limit issues, Small?
I don't think with this one, and I hate it.
Is Twork going to pick up from his brother?
You and me talked. I mean, I think as the battle was going, or right after, about the time, I know that we feel very similar.
Absolutely.
I don't feel like you have that same thing here. There's not the same grudge, which calls for. I don't think we'll call for that same reaction. Although I never think we need an 11-minute round, people. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not necessary. So I think you're going to get it now. Do I think we're going to get strict time? None of that. No, but I don't think it's going to be like halfway to a lineup like we saw on Mass 6. So I'm not worried. And in terms of the loss, who it means more for, I think it would hurt Twork a little more because he's going to be the favorite. I'm kind of, from what I'm seeing, even though it is getting more respectful than maybe it would have been a couple years ago if the battle got booked, I am seeing he's the favorite. And plus, I think, the way that K talks shit, there's a lot of people, and if Twork does win like we're predicting, I'm sure they'll be talking to us, Lang, about like, see, he was the real Cody. I already know I'm getting a couple of those, right thing. But if Twork wins after all, or if K wins after people have popped all that, I've heard so many Twork 30s, Twork this and that. I'm sure that K will have a lot to say, as he absolutely should, and it'll make the loss hit a little bit harder. But it's also, when you're this established and neither are fighting for Cody, it's just one of those legacy fights to lock in. But if Twork lost, I'm sure there will be a bigger reaction from the overall battle rap community.
Lang, a wink for Big K.
I mean, it just see, and I feel like battle rap now is no longer a stage by stage game. It's more of like a role playing free roam world game where like you could battle the god tier person and still have big battles on the side that you could take, because he battled Murder Mook last year. So I can't say there's like really major matchups. So, I mean, he did go on the record saying that he wants to battle Hitman somewhere down the line, which is a battle I never thought of. So I don't know if that aids it at all. But I mean, him beating Twork does a lot for him in terms of just adding another major win under his belt, and then kind of reaffirming that why he was the champion of the year last year. But in terms of what I would see next from him, I actually wouldn't know, because Rock and Twork were like the two biggest battles that we said he needed to take. And then after that, it's like, I don't know what will be next.
And it's like that URL, like high level URL talent that people want to see matches with. So I think it'll be good, even though he's locked in with many of those before it came to Twork and Rock. But I think it'll further bolster that. I already think he's like a top 20, 25 guy to really do it in this sport. But if there is one matchup, even though it's not realistic at all right now. But if we're talking those high performative URL style battlers, one day, man, if we ever get Shine and Big K, I asked for years, and we're far. Miles probably won't happen in my lifetime, but if we did get that with the possibilities that are out there, I know Shine's been a little limited on ops. But Shine ends up coming back soon. I want to see that, man.
You said Shine's name, man. I wish I asked Hitman about Shine, man. This should have been a good card for Shine, fellas, no?
Yeah, but who knows what Shine asked for, man.
Right.
What it's been for a minute. I mean, it would be perfect on this one, you know what I'm saying? But many entities have tried at this point from everywhere. We're just going to wait for the big announcement.
I would say for Big K, man, that brother got Mook and Rex in 1 year. Now he got Rock and Twork in 1 year. That's phenomenal work, man, for that brother right there, man.
Yeah. Like his second prime, you know what I'm saying? So I got to respect that.
Lang, talk to me, man. Main event, man. Hitman Holla, Geechee, Gotti.
This is the one. You know what's funny? I thought that this would be a battle that would have happened like 2021, 2022, especially after them being on stage on Any Given Sunday. And obviously Hitman kind of let the cat out the bag, explaining what happened as to why the battle couldn't occur and whatnot. The reason why I say that I thought it would happen a lot earlier is because we had this conversation off air. I feel like when Geechee had his 2019 run, which I feel like is like the best year that any battler has ever had, where he battled Arsenal, Rock, and Surf in the same year, I just knew that Hitman was coming next. Like, I just knew that he was coming next, and I just knew it was going to be a huge battle. The fact that it's happening later, I think is actually a blessing in disguise, because I feel like for Geechee at least, it kind of breaks out, like, or expands his ability to battle more, because like we kind of said that like early on he was kind of spamming with the top matchups, right? So eventually he gets to a point where he runs out of battles and he no longer cares, right? So now we have another battle he can actually give us that 100% effort that we were talking about before. And on the other side with Hitman, I mean, he still has plenty of other battles to take, just because he's been so methodical in the matchups that he's taken over the years. And this was one of the new era guys that we wanted to see him against for quite some time.
Is he gonna care, Lang? Is he gonna care about this battle?
I mean, he has to, right? He has to, and I feel like, and it's weird, right? Because I feel like he gave us an okay performance against Mook.
All right.
But I guarantee you he's not going to give us just an okay performance against Hitman. I feel like it's going to be a night and day difference. I feel like this battle means a lot to him, just because of, one, I guess this developing grudge that they had over the years, whether it was business related or whether it was comments about outside ventures or whatever. And it's also a situation where I think that Geechee every several months gets pissed off because we're nagging him for not taking it serious, and he says, "You all right? Well, to hell with you guys then." Boom. Like, he's going to give us a great performance. And then on Hitman's side, I think he just wants to come out and give a great performance against all the top guys that we say that he can't beat, or at least the general public says, whether it's the Shine performance, whether it's the Twork performance, or even Easy, even though that didn't really work out how he wanted it to. He always wants to come out and give a one of those type of battles against a new era guy. In this situation where he says that he's looking to shift the culture, but he's also looking to teach Geechee Gotti a lesson, I feel like that Hitman is not only going to win this battle, but after thinking about it, I would even go on to say that I feel like he's going to win this battle clear, just because I feel like there's certain approaches that he's going to take in this battle that's going to really aid him in his favor. Like, I feel like and this is the thing about being bloggers, right? Is that we kind of have an idea of what angles and approaches people can take. So I'm gonna try not to say too much, but I feel like they both had career trajectories, right? And they both carry themselves a certain way in and outside of battle rap, right? And I feel like Hitman is gonna have a lot of poignant topics or strong topics to touch on that is really gonna like just make his material hit that much harder. And then like Smo has said for countless years, Hitman is an extremely underrated angler. His ability to break down his opponent in ways that we never really thought about, and his ability to do the money talk, but like in a palatable way to a way where it actually sticks, and just the ability to kind of like talk down to his opponent too is just like very uncanny for a lot of people. I have Hitman 2-1, 2-1 clear after thinking about all the certain things that Hitman can touch on. I typically have Geechee in a debatable type situation in these type of battles, especially when it comes to like going against top tier guys. He just knows how to make battles close. Like the beauty about Geechee is that you either have like there's 50 people that have him winning, there's 50 people that have him losing.
Yes.
I can say the Averb battle, I can say the Twork battle, depending on how you feel about 1-round knockouts and stuff like that. There's gonna be countless battles where it's just debatable because it's Geechee Gotti. But Cal is another one because it's second round. In this situation, I know it's a strong opinion. I feel like Hitman's gonna win this battle clear just because he's gonna I feel like he has a lot to say to Geechee, and I feel like his talking points are gonna be very strong.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, it's so hard to say clear. And you know what? We got so much time that, funny enough, we're going to do this, but my opinions could definitely change between now and November 9th on any of these battles. But I got Hitman 2-1 as well against a really good Geechee Gotti, though. So I don't have it by way of Geechee fucking around or freestyling. Right. I don't think that will be a worry whatsoever for him in this battle because it's really the last like major. You know, he could battle Rex and Reed. He's talked about those a few times, but in terms of like legacy matchups, is this his last one? You know what I'm saying? Like when you really think about it, is this the last battle that could move his career? I guess if you battle a celebrity, you can get into that. But in terms of the legends that are left, so I'm absolutely expecting a great version of him. I think a lot of people are looking at Anglin as a big part of this, right? Because we know what they are. I don't got to speak on one's good at performance, one's good at real talk. But they're both equipped for 1,000 people. I think the battle's going to come down to approaches and angling. I got two things to say. One, I think Geechee's a better angler, but I don't think he's like a lot better. Like I don't think some people realize and they never ever acknowledge. They say Hitman just dances. He doesn't bar up, whatever. He angles his ass off. Hitman has talked to probably your favorite battle rapper Soul indefinitely. Like I don't forget. He had his O-Red story versus O-Red. He smoke shined in the second talking about he gave a fake 5 to the same hand they used to feed. And he got after Rock, got him up out of there real quick with angles. Ill Will, he angled, me turning down a battle on SM3, that started your career. I know that people don't like to hear it because it's Hitman. It's easier to just say he's a performer, but he's going to angle with him too. And the thing that worries me a little about Geechee, and I think he could pick the right angles, I could be totally wrong, but if he's going in there as like running with the verb stuff, like if that's going to be a big part of his material, he will lose. If he flips it around and he's like, all the verb situation is exposed, maybe your temper. There's like an angle in there where you'd be like, it's not about what you did with verb, it's about the way you react. Maybe there's a wrong, but if it's really just about verb, like if there's an angle that's like that, I don't think he could win with that type of content. I think that they got a humongous legacy that extends beyond whatever this little ridiculousness has been. Really, it feels like to almost promo the event. And I feel like he's much better. There's different ways to attack Hitman that will be more effective. But Hitman's extremely motivated. I can't say he's the underdog. He's probably going to try to push that. He's definitely not the underdog. It's a 50-50 split either way. But listen, his last time popping out was Battle of the Year versus Ill Will as well. You know, and even if I had him losing to Easy, that Easy loss, his performance is better than a lot of Geechee Gotti stuff that we gotten. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to question Hitman's effort. So I got Hitman. I'll say 2-1 edge for now, but I'm confident, man.
That's the one thing you said right there about the effort part. That's one thing, and I would admit that I don't think we're gonna worry about Hitman Holla not showing up for 3 rounds.
Yeah,
I don't think Geechee can't go through the motions in this one, fellas. Can he really be on some bullshit?
I don't have an ounce of worry. I don't got 1% ounce of worry about Geechee Gotti showing up for this battle. It's not even crossing my mind in the slightest, to be honest with you.
Because he knows that this is one of the last ones. He knows, but but then again, it's like it's very confusing because, like I mentioned before, he literally, and I don't know what mind frame he was in that battle, but he literally gave us like 70% against Mook, you know what I'm saying? But then a year later, it gives us 120% against Easy.
Battling the biggest draw in battle rap now, you know? That's I do think it's more important to his immediate career path. Like, Geechee's a star where I feel like URL did this with a lot of people. Like, once they gave him one god tier, that guy gets to battle all the god tiers. Like, when it was Rock's turn, everybody else get out the way.
Cow, sir,
they did it with Geechee as well. And I feel like by the time you got to the Mook battle, like, I'm not gonna say it didn't feel important, but his career never led to that. He was just a star, and they're like, we got to get another star. Just throw Geechee in there versus Mook. But Hitman and Geechee is like specific to Geechee's career. Like this one, it's gonna sound crazy. This one's gonna matter twice as much than that. Like to him specifically, people are looking at the Hitman battle as the grudge, the way they've talked, the way you guys rose to stardom. Not that Mook wasn't important, but if he loses this one, he'll get twice as much help.
Wow. Lang, are you concerned that am I tripping though? Do I feel like Geechee has a lot to say, a lot to work with though?
No, he for sure does. He for sure does. I mean, like I feel like again, like we've said what we said about like his recent performances and stuff like that, but when he had that conversation with ARP, I've never seen him so serious about like a battle in some time. Like, yeah, like that conversation he had with ARP, he was like very, and like again, a part of the battle, sometimes you win the battle before it even happens, right? Whether it be neutralizing certain topics, whether it's like making people pay attention to a certain thing when you go into the battle, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff that he touched on in that conversation he had with ARP that he said that he kind of alluded to being in what he's going to talk about in the battle too. But in the Hitman interview that you had with him, he has plenty to talk about too. He called Geechee spoiled. He says that your trajectory and my trajectory are not the same because I went through something and you went through something. So I don't know. I feel like
Geechee's gonna go there in the Arsenal disrespectful bag.
Yeah,
I don't. Baby, he might go in to talk about baby girl. He might go in that bag. He might say some shit. I
feel like it's a situation where though Hitman is strategic enough to know that with him being the draw that he is and him garnering so much attention that like a lot of his personal life stuff or the stuff that he does is going to be broadcasted to the world. So he is smart enough to know that he's going to have to find a way to have something in the tuck to kind of counterwrite it or, you know,
I asked about counterwriting. I asked him about that too, about counterwriting. Are we expecting to do a lot of counterwriting? He kind of like wanted to say, yeah, he didn't want to give me too much. When I asked him that though, as he should, I respect that though. But Smo, are you expecting him Smo to do a lot?
Yeah, he's got to, and I think that when you talk matchups of this nature, I think the last one we've seen maybe like this was maybe Geechee and Easy. I mean, Lux and Nitty was super major, different type of battle. And even then, there was counterwriting in that. Like both of them actually kind of countered. So when we talk about the biggest of the biggest angles, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not counterwriting and kind of expecting it. Because when matchups are this big, people somewhat know what direction we're going in already. And that goes for both of them, but particularly Hitman, because even though I'm not a believer, you know what I'm saying? Like I just said, I think if we go the whole verb route and it's all that won't work. There's still a lot of noise in your name and people want to see you tackle it. You know what I'm saying? People wanted to see Easy do it. And when he finally did versus Will, god damn, you know what I'm saying? It was incredible. So I expect the same thing for Hitman here. Like that, I believe counterwriting is something that's underrated and all the true greats. The true greats do it. Like the real actual best of all time, I feel like there's plenty of examples of them doing it, especially in their biggest battles. So it's a must.
Listen, we know Hitman does accolades talk, but when he does it, it always hits though for whatever reason.
No, they're both going to do it. They're both going to do it, and they both have the right to do it.
Yes. They both they got top accolades, but one's got YouTube era top accolades, and one's got everything after and a little bit of YouTube era, but like everything after with the Codys and stuff. So they can have that talk, but it'll be from two different eras. That's what makes the battle so good. So
I got Geechee 2-1, man. It was going to be. Here's the thing with this. How we feel about Hitman, because you guys know this. We all been for how many years watching battle rap. We're not new to this. A lot of people say Hitman, don't kill me, Hitman, when I say this, respectfully. That sometimes Hitman will give you one fire round, the round could be round of the night. It could be round of the battle, right? And then it could be a slippage after that. Any concerns of that?
He hasn't done that in a while. I feel like a lot of people, when you get a stigma, it's kind of hard to kind of like get away from it, even if you have proven that you kind of grown since then. I feel like the only example of that is the Easy battle, because I do feel like there was a slight drop off from the Easy battle. I feel like he kind of put too much in his first and he kind of like gassed out towards the end. But besides that, right. But besides that, it hasn't really been a situation where like that's happened. Like same thing, because I know an example. You're like, huh?
in a long time, to be honest.
Right. And I know a lot of people say the same, or has had the same thing to say about Geechee when it comes to angles, like how he had that crazy first for Rock, and then he kind of took the foot off the gas towards the end or whatever. They both haven't done that in quite some time. I feel like they pretty much know how to pace themselves, and they know that like sometimes you save your best for last for the most part. I wouldn't be surprised if they both kind of try to have their best round in their third, just so they can have the last word. So.
That's old school right there. The best rounds in the third. That's when you wait to have the dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to say because we've gotten so many good battles this year, but battles like this, you don't have many of the. You know what I'm saying? You don't get many of these as much as you used to, man. I think we were blessed this year to get it with Lux and Nitty, Rock and K, and now this, where it's like built up over years, and then it finally happened. So we've been lucky in that sense, but. After 2 rounds, it debatable 1-1, and then they have their real talk to him segment in the third. If it's not Rex versus Swamp, this will be battle of the night. I think it relies on one of those 2 battles. And honestly, I think most people would say Hitman and Geechee, respectfully, because of their higher rank and how much it means. So I'm expecting humongous things from both of them.
Real quick, Dre, before you ask me the next question, you say you have Geechee 2-1, but we ain't get that much rationale. We need a little bit more, of a.
I think he's gonna have a round like I think he's gonna have a memorable round like he did against Easy the Block Captain. I think he's gonna say. I think he's gonna go mad personal. I think he's gonna say a lot of shit where it's gonna be like that. You fellas, you know he's gonna take it there. He's gonna take it there. You do what I'm saying? And I just think he has a lot at disposal with the wifey, with the verb situation. I'm not saying he's gonna sprinkle it around, right? And we know that third round. Is it Hitman's first round against Geechee's third round and the second round?
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. I didn't like how Hitman tried to downplay. tried to downplay. Geechee for sure is one of those top guys when it comes to having one of the best closers in battle rap. And Hitman is for sure the guy that we know for setting the battle off. Like he's known for going first, setting the pace, and setting the tempo. So yeah, it might be a situation where it may come down to the second or whatever.
In the building, I'm very interested to see who's going to win in the building. To see what the people are going to say in the building, because it's Hitman, it's Bags and Bodies. Hitman, he's going to have his entourage. I'm pretty sure everybody's there. Is it advantage Hitman? No, Bags and Bodies.
I mean, when you run
Atlanta a lot too, though. I mean, Geechee's done King of Diamonds like 4 or 5 times now. I know Hitman's got probably a little bit more ties. Like we think of him more directly when it comes to ATL ties, and obviously it's neither of their home region at all. But if you had to, St. Louis is closer. I'm sure his people might be like a little bit closer compared to a West Coast battle rapper. But when you talk about stars of this nature, unless they're battling in Cali or in St. Louis, they're too big of stars to just be at a disadvantage in a neutral state, in my opinion.
You guys don't feel me on that Hitman has to be in a different bag, like real disrespectful in this one?
He don't have to be disrespectful. He just needs to know how to count. He has to counteract what Geechee's going to do. But that's what makes that's what makes it great.
In general,
but they are going to be disrespectful. It's battle rap.
Like
so
the nature of it, but I don't see there's almost people that are waiting on like dirt angles that we've never heard. Like I feel like there's some people like, I've heard people like, Geechee's gonna have something we've never heard, or just Hitman have, and I don't think it need punch and accolade talk. He can win without return to fire on his wife. You know what I'm saying? Right. I assume they'll still talk about it though. You'll see every element of battle rap in this battle, every single one of them, 100%.
Are you guys expecting Geechee and Hitman to be one of the best battles this year, up there with Nitty, Lux?
2 months prep, it probably should be. I don't know if I have the same expectation compared to Nitty and Lux, but if it was up there, like why would that be? They're probably 2 of the 5 best ever, and they have 3 months prep because it's got 2 months prep, but we know they've been talking for a minute. This battle almost went down 9 times. They probably got some stuff they already thought of. So if it's anything less than 8 out of 10. That's bad. Like that is the absolute bare minimum this battle can be, but there's no reason it shouldn't be a 10 out of 10, 9.
Right.
It could be, I'd never say this, but like battles like this should be classics. Like it's hard to get a classic. And you all know how I feel about that word. I don't like using it. Everyone every year is like, I have 3 potential classics. No, the fuck you don't. You know what I'm saying? You just battle a little bit. Like, you don't get that many. Geechee and Hitman's got the elements it takes. I'm not saying I expect that because that's not fair to put on a battle, but it's got everything it should. Like,
yeah, I do think this is a era defining battle for sure. I think that when you talk about like early YouTube era, you know,
Bragging rights.
you got Hitman, right? And then when you talk about like later, if you want to say YouTube app-ish era, you know, you got Geechee there. So it's for sure legacy defining, era defining. And yeah, to Smo's point, we don't really have many of these matchups left for Geechee. And as for Hitman, I mean, he knows what this one is about. And I feel like they both are gonna come to play in this battle.
Hitman beat Shine, Rock, Arsenal, Conceited. Damn. If you get this Geechee Gotti win, man, that is big, dog.
And there's still a couple. What I like about Hitman is it doesn't seem like he has any intentions on like not bad. Like he's got afterwards. Let's see what Twork does because Hitman and Twork, that could be
That's the one. That's the one.
And even to a lesser degree, you got battles like Hitman and Nitty or Hitman and Swamp. That it's not like Premier, but I would take Hitman and Hitman and Mook, which we know the situation. But there's still like tons of stuff out there. So man, it's an exciting time. I feel like this fourth quarter battle rap. It's been actually a good year when you look at it battle wise. We've been eating this year. You know what I'm saying? Right. But the fourth quarter, especially, so many battlers taking the power into their own hands. Those matchups might not be as scarce as they were the last few years when the people we want in them get to throw their own events. So hopefully this leads to more. I want to see a power moves too, so everybody should go, I'm supporting this event. I plan on being in the building, and I hope that everybody else, you know what I'm saying, is supporting as well.
You heading out there?
Yeah, man. I've been a little more scarce this year than the last few. You're the king of scarce. You should know, 3, but I'm going to make my way out to Atlanta.
I was thinking about it going out there too, Small. I'm not gonna lie to you.
If there's any one of them, I know we pick them seldomly.
But
one of them this year, this I felt it. I'm like, this might be one that I can't not make the move for. You know what I'm saying? As much as I like the crib, so
yeah. Last year it was Max Out 3 for me where I made that move. So I made a good move, right? So but this one I'll probably have to watch from home. But yeah, I agree with Smo. This would be the one to pop out for. It's historic too. You got to think this is Hitman's first, like him throwing his first ever card. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like this is like monuments. You know what I'm saying? Right. I would have killed to go to the first high stakes card back in the day. I would have killed to go to the DNA and disaster card back in the day. I would have killed to go to like those monumental cards back in the day. SM2. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just got to take a risk, man. Especially if it's historic. You just gotta. And that's why I'm happy you started going to events, because I'm like, there's so many events that you just missed out on that you could have been a part of, and now you understand why we get that rush of wanting to go. You know what I'm saying?
That UW event I went to was not it. Respectfully, shout out to you.
No, but that's part of it. There's a couple misses out there too.
Yeah, for sure.
That was I'm sorry, respectfully. That was woo. Love New Orleans though. Love the city though. Overall. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, I appreciate you as always, man. I'm going to get this out, though. I appreciate y'all.
For sure. Thank you for having us up.